Yeah, welcome back to Everything from Nothing. Well, I have a bit of a hoarse voice this week. I was out not drinking last night and running. Yeah, eating horses. And now I have a hoarse voice. This week we're joined by an artist, a musician from who's based in Belfast, Leo Miyagee. Yes. And you're just down, you're passing, we're just kind of, it'd be a short enough episode, but we'll try and get, because you're going actually doing a gig in Limerick. Yeah.
So I apologize for this being a shorter episode than usual. It's just that we have a gig to go to very shortly. I'm just passing on my way to Limerick City.
And what is the gig? Is it?
It's a Signer Festival. It's actually a new festival, a new exciting festival.
Yeah,
they got some serious acts there.
Yeah.
Strange Boy, they got Hazy Haze, they got Jay Yellow, they got New Jackson, a lot of serious, artists there.
Isn't Blind Boy? What's Blind Boy?
Blind Boy, yeah, he's doing there as well.
He's doing is he doing, I've seen his name on the thing, but I don't know.
I don't know if he's performing or doing a podcast.
Something like, yeah, I wonder.
In James's Castle, is it? Or where is it?
King John's Castle.
King John's Castle, yeah. John's, not James's. Don't go to James's.
yeah.
You'll miss it. So John's Castle,
King John's Castle.
That's a cool venue. Isn't it?
Yeah. They've done some gigs there before, like Siege of Limerick and stuff like that, I think. But
that was a good gig.
Yeah. And are you the only then? What because so they've. Is it just you coming down for is every other artist playing it?
Are you the only non-Irish artist?
They're all Irish, and then they just randomly contacted me. I mean, Chaz Maloney, who the director and organizer of Signer Festival. I think he must have stumbled across my stuff.
That's cool,
which is a pleasant way of it happening. Yeah,
you have really cool videos. We were watching your videos there.
Thank you.
They look so professional. Like they're so top class.
I feel like they only now look professional because we've always had the ideas, and I like innovating and doing my own stuff and really getting into it.
I seen some of the credits, there's someone involved and stuff, but I get the impression by every sort of video I could see had similar styles. Are you heavily involved in the concept, in
I mastermind all my shit.
Really?
Everything. Yeah.
That's cool. So you see the vision of the videos and stuff too.
Yeah, it's because it's I'm a project artist, not a single artist. Projects, not singles. It's just that's how I started, and that's all I know how to do.
Yeah.
When did you start doing all of this?
16.
16.
No, yeah, 16.
So how many years ago is that?
That's 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so the whole idea, even when you started, was to work with projects, not just...
Yeah, because what made me fall in love with hip-hop music was albums. I'd fall asleep listening to albums, classic albums, not classical. And that's what started.
And who were you listening to?
You have your starter kit, your Illmatics, your Ready to Dies, Nas, Biggie, your Tupacalypse now, your Killuminati, All Eyes on Me. And then you go into stuff like Andre 3000, and then you go into stuff like The Tribe Called Quest.
I kept saying, I was I bet you, I felt like there's no, I don't know, I could really get I actually said that I bet you that you're into Tribe Called Quest. I could really, not that any of it sounds anything like it, but I could just get that buzz that you were I don't know why I felt that you were I don't know, I got a Tribe Called Quest buzz from it, even though none of it sounds similar to Tribe Called Quest. I don't know what that is, it's mad.
No, listen, I take that as a compliment.
I
know exactly what you mean. Obviously it's if you study, because when I write, my process is all about attention to detail, right?
Yeah.
And attention to detail, the main part of that, especially in music, is synchronicities, which is small things that people do and that people like things, right? So I was I would find a song that I really like, and then what I would do is I play it to my friends.
Yeah.
And if their face lit up, my face lit up when I first played it to them.
I
would then sit there and be what'd you like about it? I don't know. Let me think for a while.
Wow.
And then eventually they come back to me
that's cool.
And I'd be
wow.
So, and then I'd add it to
that's cool.
Start drawing bullet points so people this about hip hop. People
that's
this.
Really,
now I have a melting pot of all different friends.
Paul Weller from The Jam. He was The Jam, and now he's been a solo artist for years.
Yeah.
Paul Weller has such a mad history of his own music taste and how he blended it together into The Jam and the Style Council and solo artist stuff. And literally he's robbed from everywhere. And he always says that. He's I nicked the best bit from this and the best bit from this and the best bit from this. And this is how I got my style. And that's why it's kind of hard to define.
Yeah.
One thing I would say in contrast to that is that one thing about me is that I don't just study hip hop. I would study English literature, and I would also study Geoffrey Chaucer, and I would also study Shakespeare and how to create world building from all them things. So I don't just steal it. I regurgitate it.
That was
probably
elements, that was really unfair, to say about Paul Weller, because that's what he does. It goes through his own process of different things. Like he's read loads of poetry and that kind of thing. All of that is blended in. It's not just a single focus on the music.
Because what you're doing is like you're very observant of art and like appreciate it, and like, which means like you no ego or anything to be like, no, it's all just mine. It's like you're taking in what other people have done, and you're not even using it, but you're sort of filtering it through your mind, which is like, which your mind is full of like what you study and all that sort of thing. Like
exactly, because it's like for me, it's like the more knowledge you get, like, and you can understand, like, so people learn things differently. My way was like connection. That's the one thing that I'm good at. I was like, how do people connect? Why are they connecting? Like even they don't know why, like what, like. Do you know what I mean? Very observant. That's my one thing that I naturally, innately can pick up on, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it would be like, I would connect to it, right? And it's like, it's not even like I would turn around and be like, I'm going to do something like that. I'd be like, how was he able to speak about this moment in his life? And then create this like moment in that song where it's like you could almost feel what he was feeling in that moment.
That's mad.
And then I'll take different moments in my life, right? Whether they're happy, sad, neutral, whatever, observant, reflective, and then I just do the exact same thing. Because emotion is motion, happy is happy, fear is fear. So it's like no matter what you do, right? This guy created the emotion of happiness, right? And no matter how much originality, authenticity I put on it, I'm still going to need to create emotion happy, which everybody feels. Do you know what I mean?
It's
for people
like
to even connect with it.
A kind of deconstruction of what that is and rebuilding it like in your own framework and experience and structure.
We used to have that in architecture as well. On every project, they'd ask you, like, what's your precedence in that? Like, where did you get that? And then you have to say, you can't say, oh, I made up myself. Then it's shit because it doesn't have any precedence.
That's like law as well. They ask precedence.
Give us your precedence of where you came up with that would work as an emotion or as a feeling or whatever.
Where you drew from. And
if you said, oh, I just came up with myself, number one, you either didn't or as it doesn't work. Because if you came up with it yourself and it didn't come from anywhere else, then it doesn't connect with the human condition and it isn't built on anything. So so every piece of art has to be like that.
Something what I noticed about yours as well, like obviously there was a lot of like, older school hip hop, like kind of like vibe I was getting off your stuff. But then I was like, you're probably one of the first artists I've not like in Ireland anyway heard that like has managed to done a really good job at not being of any time. You can't really say it's like new hip hop or old hip hop. It's sort of like in your own thing, and because I can hear like. You might have the newer like kicks, the 808 kicks and shit like that. They're in newer stuff, but like you're mixing maybe like the style of how you're spitting is maybe like sort of more like old school and stuff like that, and it's really cool to
and see that's the end goal. Like that is what you explain is me in the process, but the end goal is to take all these things and learn from all these people and then eventually give people my own blend, which hopefully in the future people could learn from, because it's built on like all the knowledge and all these other different sources and precedents. And
it's a combination of you and all of those influences.
One day I'd like to be able to give people like, there's different colors. One day I'd like to give people my own color that nobody's ever
That's
used.
cool. That's cool. What's the hip hop scene like? Because I don't know anything about the hip hop scene in Belfast at all, like, to be honest. What is it like up there? Is it big? Is it?
Oh yeah, the hip hop scene up there, it's not big, right? But there are a lot of hip hop artists. There are a lot of urban music artists, R&B, drill artists, grime artists, new school hip hop artists, and there's actually a lot of old school hip hop artists as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Surprised. So it's just now that whole thing of, you ever heard how Belfast isn't, maybe 5 years behind Dublin? That's what it is now. It's just the platforms being created and people realizing, oh, people are interested in this.
Yeah.
And then they create a platform for it or create a night for it and more events around it. And that's all that's happening now. So I would say it's in good condition, and I would say we're maybe at the start of an art boom in Belfast, because not just hip hop wise, right?
Yeah.
There's so many artists who are in my friend group who are getting featured by Vans and NME and Kerrang, and they're doing psychedelic rock. They're doing so many different things, but it's innovative and it's artistic and it's creative. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's gonna be an art boom in Belfast very, very soon, and I think we'll give you guys a run for your money one day.
That's class. Yeah. Well, we've no association with Dublin. We're gonna put that.
My bad.
I'm only messing. I'm only joking. But why I think I actually don't think you're in terms of, we were up in Belfast there a couple of weeks ago or whatever.
We went up to taste the tables, the Northern tables.
The good potatoes.
Potatoes, you know.
Yeah, potatoes.
Yeah. We went up there to eat
They're actually nicer, man.
They're much nicer than Artie ones.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They're not.
I'm not a fan. I don't even like potatoes.
Yeah.
With Guinness, they're perfect accompaniment to Guinness.
Yeah. But even walking around, I was there a few years ago as well, and I don't know up there much, like, but walking around there, like, I already felt like, even with, you know, the virus and stuff, it was a lot more, I don't know, there seems to be a lot more of an energy up there or something, like, there seems to be life, and Dublin, I still think there's lots of great stuff happening, but I don't feel like any different when I go to Dublin than it was 5 years ago. There was as much gigs happening in Dublin and the same type of music happening in Dublin, for me, in my experience, and I could be wrong, whatever other people think, that if I go to Dublin gigs now, it was the same 5 years ago. Whereas, like, I don't know, but up in Belfast, it seemed like that, it nearly seems like, in terms of, you know, maybe not like how many buildings or apartments are being made, but like creatively, it feels like that. I don't think they're 5 years behind it all up there.
Artistically and creatively, like the actual quality wise, right? Like, I wish. Okay, I'll give you guys some examples to maybe like look at. There's a guy called Lemonade Shoelace, serious musician, like Keen Kavana type vibes I get off him. Do you know what I mean? Serious musician. And he does psychedelic, like, it's not even like I can't. And they're my friends, so I see all the work, and then I see the end product with the track, and it just sounds like,
that's
to me, the perfect version of what they were trying to do. And I'm like, they're gonna be up there, and they're gonna make noise, and people are gonna hear what I'm saying. Like, so I feel like,
are you friends with them?
Yeah, I'm friends with all of them because I love good music. Do you know what I mean?
That's really cool though. Like, just seeing how passionate.
Open books, so it's easier for me to be friends with artists than it is to be friends with other people. If I'm honest. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So and I feel like I can be more open with artists because artists don't talk too much. I mean, so it's like, that's why I'm friends with all of these guys, and I feel like artistically and creatively we're already there.
100%.
Commercially,
it's just getting out.
And like,
of it.
and you know what? The hunger is there now.
It's
like, I don't know what lockdown did, but it changed to where people in, like, especially my generation, it's like they're more open to giving, like, you know, you know, locals a chance and coming to their gigs and being passionate about their music. It's showing in every mad. To
be honest, I think like it sounds like what you're saying, where people during lockdown everyone's opening up. To be honest, like down here, like what it sounds like is Dublin has always, when you're living in Dublin, people were a lot more creatively comfortable being creative and stuff. But like down here and stuff, it was kind of the same thing. Like it's nearly like outside of Dublin. There's Dublin, and there was always the rest of Ireland. It's always felt like, in terms of where gigs went on, where music and art has always been Dublin and then the rest of Ireland. And I would have always included the North in that as well, like in terms of what was going on and stuff. And I think not just like, I think you're seeing a lot more gigs down in Cork, Limerick, even that thing that's happening now. Like that's class that's not, and rare that's not happening in Dublin and stuff. And even in Tips is, you know, there's a lot more people all over Ireland who, and it's all to do with the internet, I think, like, just because people got a chance to, you know, practice their creativity from their houses. And you're not limited by, like, you have to go to the big city, and that's like around the world as well. Like, you know, you don't have to go to LA anymore to do whatever. Like, things are happening all over now, which is cool to see. So it's cool to see that that's happening in Belfast. And it's
Belfast seemed a lot more vibrant to me. I remember, like, working in Dublin before the boom and all that. I'm that old, like. And it was great fun because there was wrecks of buildings where we'd have band practices in, and buildings that were half fallen down. But now everything is so expensive and polished up there, it seems nearly boring. Whereas walking around Belfast, I got that feeling that there was some new buildings, there was some wrecks of buildings, and there was opportunity.
People were good crack as well. We were stopping up talking to everyone.
But like in a city, you need stuff that's a bit grimy, that needs to be like revamped, and like that's what gives a city a vibe. Like, it's that integration and mixture of
like
stuff.
Character.
I feel like you need cheap spaces as well, that you can create art and create things. You know what I mean? But Dublin, its success nearly kills the artistic side of it.
See, that's double-edged sword with anything. Do you know what I mean? For me, artistically, that polishness that you guys have, that then creates a platform.
It does.
Right? Where it's like, okay, if we took the biggest urban music artists from the north, right, and the type of fanfare and streams and attention they get and coverage they get, and compared it to someone who isn't even amongst, it's you see what I'm saying? Like, it's mad. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes like the parity and the difference and the gap is just mad. So that's why I'm like, that platform, that audience, that polishness, right? like, okay, it kills creativity, fairs. I wouldn't even argue that because like even in London, I feel like 90% hip hop and grime and drill sound the same.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it's healthy to disagree, but that's still a platform. That's still an audience.
Yeah.
So what about artists like me or my friends who is like, change it up, like tell me something different.
I know.
What are we supposed to do? Do you know what I mean? Because
you
need to find a balance between that griminess and that character.
Yeah.
And then that polishedness.
And then up there.
Do you know what I mean?
I always think of Detroit, right? So Detroit, you had the car industry, you had Motown, it was booming. It was so successful. Yeah. And then the car industry fell apart, and then the music thing fell apart, and it became an absolute slum, and all the center of it was hollowed out with neglect, I suppose. You'd study it in urban planning, and then I started reading more about it, and because it became so wrecked, there was artists moving into these cheap places and just being creative in there, and because that was going, it kind of became cool again. And now because it became cool again, now it's getting expensive again, and now the whole thing is kind of going back up again. But everyone used to always talk about Detroit as being like, you know, decimation, but now it's back up to the height again, you know. So it just goes in circles, basically.
The world is funny as well. Like, one of the direct causations for house music and techno existing is because of the car industry, because of all those empty warehouses in Detroit. That shit's class as well. Like, people, I don't know. I think no matter how, that's kind of like us, like, you know, we don't give out that, like, you know, Tipperary is equally as banded as anywhere else when it comes, I mean, after Dublin, like, not as much anymore, but like, it's like, money for arts was always going to Dublin, whatever. But we that's why we're doing this, because like, there's no point in giving out about or looking for money off councils and stuff when we can just like be creative and use our creativity to figure out how we're going to do it by ourselves and stuff anyway. And I don't know, it's cool to see in like times of adversity, like a lot of art is created and shit.
Tell us about your road to Belfast, because it's a pretty mad place for you to end up, and you've come through a few places.
It's nothing like eventful. It's just my mum was a single parent mum, and we were living in London because that's where all of her family was. Right.
Which part of London were you?
South London, Wimbledon.
Which part of where?
Wimbledon. Yeah.
I spent a lot of time near there.
Okay.
I was in Tooting and Balham.
Yeah. So the first half of the time we were in London, we lived in Surbiton.
Oh, yeah.
And then we moved to Rains Park, which is right next to Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And then I went to Rutledge Boys High School, and my mum was a single parent. You know all of that place. You know all of them places.
I've lived all over London.
You ever heard of Joseph Hood Primary School?
No, not that one.
Okay, that's where I went to primary school. But so that's pretty much. So I went Joseph Hood Primary School, but at the start I was at Tolworth Infant School, and then I went to Joseph Hood Primary School, and then I went to Rutledge Boys High School, and then we moved to like Manchester, right? Didn't even stay there for a week, and then we moved to Northern Ireland.
That's mad.
Okay, wow. And do you get back across to London much, or did you?
Yeah, like at the start, it was really hard for me to settle because it was a culture shock, right?
Yeah.
My
I'm
mum
still
was
having that.
Yeah. It was a culture shock. So she was like, "Oh, it's cheaper," and she didn't like the area, and she didn't like the company I kept, and all them things. So she was like, "Oh, it's cheaper up north." But it's like such a culture shock because all my family, my cousins, my aunties, my uncles, and everybody I'd grown up with,
just gone
there, and I was just like dropped into another place. She was like it or lump it,
and I was London is London. Like, there's no place like it. Like, I just think in terms of diversity and access to things, and like that there is something for everyone all of the time. And it's so accessible. So you had a bit of a slap in the face when you came.
Belfast is good too, really.
It was. I mean, it's getting there, you know.
Like, what did you do? Like, how did you manage that and deal with that? Like, that kind of shock of it?
I just played loads of sports. I was like in every sports team. I had loads of angst. I was like,
is there hurling up there? Was it in your school?
No. I did football. I did athletics. I did boxing.
Nice.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know about them sports. They're like really like. They take up all your time.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, definitely.
But that helped you kind of like just get over the culture.
Yeah, I had a chip on my shoulder and it helped. Because I was like, why am I here? I want to go home. And then I was like, you know what I mean? I was able to like accept it after a while.
Yeah. And you're happy where you are now?
I am happy now. Yeah, I am happy now. Like
come here.
It worked out for the best, I think.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You're creating your music and stuff. Do you do it all in a home studio, or do you go into? How do you do it all?
Started off home studio, and I did everything myself, except from like the production side, right? So just because of like it's like real arty rap, right? There's loads of like producers who are like out there willing to like work on that type of style.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I get loads of people on SoundCloud contacting me,
yeah.
and then like comment on my YouTube video from other people and producers who had YouTube videos, right?
Class.
So then what we do is like it got to a point where it was like I'd made so much content on SoundCloud for free and like covers and remixes and stuff, right? I had all these producers and was like, let's get some shit done.
Yeah.
So I put out like the first project, and it was like they just sent me beats and I recorded over them, mixed everything whilst learning tutorials how to mix, and then mastered everything whilst learning tutorial how to mix, and then that's how I put out Bluebird, right? Which was like my first project, right? Yeah. And I was like, and then it was like, yo, this is decent, and I was like, oh fuck, and then I went back in and I was like watching more tutorials and sweating this shit a little bit more, you know, like every single side of it, the mixing, the recording, the writing, and then that's how we got the next project. And then it wasn't until Act 1, which was the third project, right, where I was like, okay, I want to like start like specializing and not be a jack of all trades on like hone in on like what I enjoy the most, which is the writing, recording and performing, right? So I says same process where it's like I contact all my guys, says, do you have a new batch? And they send me a new batch of production, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But this time I had an engineer who would do the mixing and mastering for me, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I give him whatever he charges, right? So that was when we started from that point. So, and then Act 2 was also recorded at home, but same process, but like engineer, right?
Yeah.
And Act 3 was my first studio album where I was like,
how was that different?
It was like, it was more professional.
Yeah.
I felt like everything had to be tighter.
Yeah.
And I was like more alert because I'm not just in my room. I can stand up and record and sit back down and play FIFA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the studio, it's like, do you know what I mean?
Dare to get the job
like,
done. Yeah.
And I felt like more was at stake because I was investing more. I got funding in order to complete this project. Which
and
is
did that take it all to a higher level?
Yeah, because we was like every single step was professional. The studio recording, giving it to an engineer who spent months on it, right? And then giving it to somebody to master, like the stems, and then which will be like the beat, and instruments, and then the ad libs, and then the vocals. Like that's how professional tracks are mastered. And they put it together
and mastered the whole.
They master it individually. And then you stick it together. Perfectly. So it's like I didn't know nothing, bro. I see. You think you know stuff. So there's levels, right?
And you'll never know it all either. That it just gets deeper and deeper until you can't listen to music anymore. I've seen some people who know music so well that they find it hard to listen.
I'm almost there.
Did it like really push you creatively when you were in that whole studio environment that suddenly you're like, well, this is fucking real, and this is like I can really take this so much further than
like it was like to the point where it was like everything that was coming natural, we'd get it done however we got it done, but the things that weren't coming natural, I'd be like step by step, slow it down and like be more methodic with it. So it's like I'm learning while doing it, but it's like it still needs to be the same standard as whatever comes natural to me. So that's how we did. So it was like one thing will come natural, one thing will come I have to learn as I'm doing it. Another thing will come more natural. And even like we just did an album launch, right? And then we had like a 9-piece band because we wanted to like really recreate all the tracks, like every single element, right? Like even that, it was like I've performed with a band before, and it's usually the bass guy learns the bass, the drum pattern, and then my keys guy, he learns everything and puts it all together for the band, right? But this time we had to go step by step because I was learning while doing it. Even where my voice fits, like I had to rap differently and perform the songs differently in order to fit in with like, because there's so much, so many things, so many learning things, and it's like now when the next time comes around, I feel like I'll be able to put out a way better project. I genuinely believe I'll be able. This is only like the surface. You know what I mean? Scratch the surface.
What programs would you use at home? Like Ableton, Pro Tools, or something?
I'll be honest. I'm still on FL Studios, Fruity Loop Studios. So I would just record on Fruity Loop Studios.
That's cool. Yeah.
Wouldn't mix nothing on it, and then just send it out to my Fruity Loop Studios.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right, and I wouldn't mix nothing, and then I'll just send it to my engineers, and they would use Pro Tools.
Yeah.
The master engineer would use Pro Tools, right?
Yeah.
And then the mixing engineer would use Ableton and Logic. So because there's different sounds, you can get different things.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Hey, what I think it was, I don't know, it was a story Yeah. What time is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jenna, finish up. Hey, quick question. What's your what's your biggest dream with all this? Where do you what's your biggest ambition? And doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. What's your biggest thing?
For me, I just want to be financially free.
Yeah, that's good.
So not like rich. Yeah,
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
I just want to be able to be like make a professional wage.
Yeah.
Whilst doing what I love for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like I wouldn't mind waking up every day because I already do that. This year was my first time. So I was waking up and putting in overtime and whatever 12-hour studio sessions. So I don't mind. There's nothing to me. I have no reason, no right to be tired doing this. As long as I can do what I love. So if I can make a professional wage just doing this for the rest of my life, that's my dream. And if I get more than that, cool.
Because you're always going to learn along the way. So you're always going to enhance and grow.
We'll re-ask that question. It's getting on this podcast was the big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, right.
This everything from nothing. I've been wanting to come on here for years.
Ask the question again.
No, but thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks a million for coming on as well. You have to go and
thanks very much, man.
Best of luck with the gig tonight. I'm sure you'll do well. And thanks a million for coming.
I'm ready. I think I'm decent tonight. But
thanks a million
you guys,
to everyone for watching. And where can people check you out and shit? Like
at Leo Miyagee on Instagram. That's LeoMiyagee. And then at Leo Miyagee on Spotify. At Leo Miyagee on Twitter and Facebook.
And if you search that on YouTube as well,
YouTube.
All your music videos are on YouTube.
Yeah.
Nice one. Right, thanks a million to everyone for watching, and thanks for coming on.
Guys, thank you.
Bye.